y'all, it's Saki, and I'm sure as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be discussing a bit of a serious topic. No rant or anything. This entire video will just be my explanation of the topic from my perspective, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, because this will just be my opinion on the matter, and I know not many people will 100% agree or disagree with me. So instead of some reaction icons, I'm just going to be doodling a little something, as you can see on the screen right now, while I'm talking. So feel free to either watch or listen, because this is going to be a bit of a chill video. With that being said, on to the topic at hand. Why it's petty to dig up someone's old dirt to use against them. Well, aside from being just that, petty, most of the time it's just unnecessary, irrelevant, and unneeded. After all, no one is going to have the same mindset that they did years ago or even further back. They won't do or say any of the same things that they did before either. Regardless of that though, people tend to dig up old dirt on someone, mostly someone they don't like, or just plain out hate with a burning passion. All for what? Just to make them feel good about themselves because they rubbed it in that person's face? For example, and this example is something that was said about me whenever they asked the person about this. Now, the screenshot I'm about to show will have the user's name censored, just out of respect for them because I don't want them to get involved in any of this. So, as you can see here, yes, I did say that in a Tumblr tag, but that was almost 4 years ago. Like, late 2014. I was a racist little bitch back then, yeah. But guess what? I don't have the same kind of mindset anymore. In fact, I'm a supporter of Black Lives Matter. And in case you still need a little bit of extra information, you know what was also part of my mindset back in 2014? I was horrendously transphobic and homophobic. Guess what? My best friend of almost 7 years now is a female-to-male transgender, and I'm gay. Now, none of this was a thing back in 2014, but you all see my point, right? People's mindsets and views aren't like a video game save file. A video game save file will be exactly where you left off once you go to reload it again. A human's mindset and viewpoints isn't like that at all, because an individual person will continue to experience their life day to day. Some things in their lives changing their views, or at least giving them something to consider. For me, it was my gradual distaste for my family's, passion, to put it lightly, for their, politician of choice. But yeah, all that and just politicians and news media coverage in general is basically what made me change my mind. So yeah, along with my ever-growing confusion of my sexuality, which turned into more of an acceptance of what I ended up choosing to become, mostly triggered by other factors, those were some of the main reasons as to why my view on things took a bit of a drastic change in another direction. But even so, that doesn't erase what I did and said years ago. However, it does make those things discredited because my mindset nowadays is not the same as it used to be. It's like when gathering information for a research paper or a debate. It is highly recommended to use much more recent information as opposed to older ones, because the new information may have discredited any older research from years prior. Yet, people to this day still like to dig up dirt on people, preferably those who are seen as famous or popular. Because why? Who knows what their motives are? It could be something as simple as they're bored and don't know what else to do with their time, or they themselves want to have their 15 minutes of fame by getting the juiciest dirt for the next big story. We see this sort of tactic very often, from how paparazzi or news media coverage get some celebrity dirt, either via photos for the front cover of a popular tabloid or the story of the evening broadcast. These people do everything in their power to bring others down and paint these individuals as something they aren't entirely. They exaggerate things to make their story about the person more frightening or show it off as some warning, while they themselves make sure that they look like some hero who just slayed a dragon. Now, I know what you're all thinking or speculating at this point, and I just have to say that no, this is not me talking about the ranting community. This is something that spans basically all of humanity with an individual's similar motive. Like what I said just moments ago, paparazzi or news broadcasters do the same. And there, of course, are other kinds of people, bloggers, on the internet, or even just random strangers out and about. Whatever starts the fire, others will do what they can to make the fire bigger and last longer. And they'll continue to make this wildfire look like the next big apocalypse. And it's sad. It's sad that there are miserable people in this world who do everything in their power to make those better off just as miserable as they are. So those people do everything in their power to defame those better off and treat them like they're the most expendable of objects, or paint red horns and a tail over their pictures. These people have nothing better to do with their time, so they waste it on the ones they hate and dislike. And honestly, looking back on everything that's happened, I can't help but wonder about that myself. Why people choose to waste their time on something or someone they dislike as opposed to doing things that they like and spend their time much more productively. I suppose it's just one of those psychological motives that no one will ever completely understand. But I can guarantee you this, after everything is said and done, and I'm sure you all know what I mean by that, I'll put this past little hobby to rest so that I can walk forward from it and learn to be a better person. Sure, the past can't be completely erased no matter how much we try. It's something we can learn from. That's what history's all about. Learning from it so that we don't repeat the same mistakes again. It's stupid and petty to dig up someone's past just so you can use it as some sort of blackmail to get them to shut up. Meanwhile, act like you have some kind of power over them. Of course, there are some exceptions. What? You thought I was gonna end it there? Nah, not with all those loopholes left in that statement. While it is petty to bring up someone's history and past when they don't act like that or have that same mentality anymore, it's not the same if the person still continues to act like that. If they were public about their behavior before called out on it, they just might be crafty enough to not do it again. Not publicly, at least. So they'll end up doing it behind closed doors while being some innocent angel who could do no wrong in the public's viewing. And those kinds of people are where the fine line is drawn. So if the person's mindset is not the same as before and they do not do the same thing that they used to, it's pointless to bring up the past and rub it in their face. Not only is it discredited, but you have no case since the behavior of the person isn't acted upon and therefore it's irrelevant. On the other hand, if the user still continues to do the same things they used to, whether it be publicly, privately, public then private, or vice versa, then it's not really petty to bring up their old history because, again, they're still technically doing the same thing that they used to. Now, it's not right to hold it over their heads and treat it like blackmail, or treat it like it's some metaphorical leash you're using to keep a hold on them. But it's also not right to hound people after they've learned from their mistakes and are moving on from them. After all, the proper way to apologize for your actions is to 1. Say you're sorry, 2. Say what you're sorry for doing or saying, and 3. Never, ever do the same thing again. Because if it gets found out that after laying low and quiet for a while, you start up again, then it's within reason for someone to bring up, hey, remember that thing you did? Well, you're doing it again. So again, while it's petty to bring up someone's past they don't do anymore, especially if they don't have the same mindset, it's not necessarily quote-unquote petty. If this person ends up doing the same thing again and again and continues to have the same mindset or goes through some sort of repetitive cycle, then that's where the line's drawn. Anyway, I think I made my point clear. I just want to restate again that my explanation for this topic is all from my perspective and therefore it's very subjective. So please don't take what I say at face value. If anything, I encourage you all to take what I say and think about it for a while and come up with your own viewpoints on the matter. Other than that, thanks for staying until the end. I really appreciate your time, guys. This is Saki, signing out.